Hello, welcome to another video. I'm so glad you tuned in to Gracefully Gorgeous today, where we talk about life, health, and fertility in your late 30s and 40s. So today I want to talk about 3 fertility treatments that I personally would never do and would never recommend to someone else. Okay, so just a little background on me. I started trying to have children after the age of 35 and had several miscarriages. I have been to see, oh goodness, many reproductive specialists. I've learned tons along the way. I don't really wish what I've been through on anyone. However, I am now have a lot of knowledge on the topic. I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is based on my personal experiences, and we're just having a candid chat, okay, about fertility. So what I'm going to talk about are 3 treatments that I personally would not do. 3 fertility treatments I would not do. And I'm going to tell you the reasons why I personally would not choose those, nor would I recommend them. Okay? Again, I'm not a doctor. If you choose to do them, go for it, okay? Okay, let's just get right into it. First one I would never do is take Clomid. There is a drug called Clomid that is very popular that reproductive specialists or OBs give to women, and what it does is it makes you ovulate, possibly you over-ovulate. So you could possibly ovulate more than 1 egg, so your chance of multiples, like twins or triplets, are higher, okay? It is a very high dose of hormones. I personally have just read and heard a lot of really negative things about Clomid because it's not a drug that your body can easily expel out after you have taken it, okay? That is the main problem with it. And if you do happen to become pregnant with Clomid, then if you are pregnant with a male child, it can possibly have some adverse effects on the baby because it is a large dose of female hormones. So it could possibly cause sex of the baby problems, like problems with their genitals or their testicles are not properly descended. Again, I'm not a doctor, so you need to talk to your doctor about these risks with Clomid. Just know that it is not a drug that doesn't come with risks and side effects. Does that make sense? Okay, so and for me personally, I just would never choose to even try it. But that's just a personal choice. If you're okay with those risks and you want to try it and you think it might work for you, go for it. Again, this is just about my 3 I wouldn't try. So number 1 is Clomid as a fertility treatment for, ovulation or the inability to get pregnant. The second fertility treatment I would never choose to do is IVF without genetic testing. Definitely would not do that. I personally believe genetic testing is one of the absolute key success to IVF. And I see a lot of clinics sadly pushing people not to do the genetic testing because then you can do a fresh transfer rather than a frozen transfer. And again, you have to kind of have a working knowledge of IVF to understand this video, so I hope you do. In vitro fertilization is where they make an embryo and transfer it into the woman's uterus and hope it sticks, okay? It's a whole process. So, and what you can do is you can have those embryos genetically tested to make sure they have the right number of chromosomes, that they are healthy, etc. Before you do a transfer. I personally would always choose that. I have seen so many women even having poor egg quality and poor sperm quality for men, even in their 20s these days, okay? A lot of fertility clinics will say, oh, well, you're young, your stuff is, your eggs and your sperm are probably good quality. They don't know that. They're just speculating. They have no idea, okay? And I have seen so many women, like I said, even in their 20s that are struggling with very poor egg quality. Like I said, I wish there were more research being done on that. I mentioned that in another video because it is a huge problem these days. So your chances of success go way up with genetically testing the embryos, okay? And there is an extra cost, at least where I live in America, it costs a few thousand extra dollars. However, if you think about it, If you're transferring genetically or unhealthy embryos, how devastating is that to just keep having miscarriage after miscarriage or failed transfer after failed? And in America, most clinics, you have to pay for each transfer. So, yeah, I don't know, it's a no-brainer to me. If you're going to spend all that time, all that money, the emotional stress, the physical stress of going through IVF, why not take that one extra step and have the genetic testing done so you feel confident about the embryo that you are having transferred? It's a huge financial investment, emotional investment, etc. to even do IVF. So I personally would never choose IVF without genetic testing. I've also had friends who have had like 10 embryos thawed out and only 2 of them were genetically viable. And I've heard this over and over. What if they would have kept having those transfers, how horrible. Number one, you would have probably given up mentally and financially and emotionally before you even, you just happened to roll the dice and lucky day you got the genetically healthy embryo. It just doesn't make sense to me. Personally, I think it should just be mandatory in IVF. Okay, enough of my rant on that one. The third fertility treatment I personally would never choose to do is called an IUI. It's called an interuterine insemination. Hope that's right. Anyway, it's called an IUI. Oh my goodness, let's talk about IUIs. IUIs, and again, this is just my personal opinion, okay? Don't shoot me for this. I personally think they're a big moneymaker for fertility clinics. I don't know anyone, and I have talked to hundreds of women. I don't know anyone who has had a successful IUI, like a successful pregnancy from an IUI. Never. I've never met one. I'm sure there's a few, but if they would actually show you the percentage of success of IUIs, it's literally probably 1%. I'm not even joking. You need to ask them. Ask the clinic. What is the percentage of success with IUI? They probably either 1, don't know, or 2, aren't going to, I don't know. They'll be like, oh, it's, I don't know, whatever. But I personally don't think they work absolute 98% of the time. Maybe 99% of the time. I think they're just like a way to placate people who are like, oh, I don't want to spend that much on IVF, but I want to do something. So like, oh, try this IUI. If you're already having problems with your eggs and your sperm, why would having someone else inject the sperm into your uterus do anything different? The only problem that corrects is the sperm not getting high enough up into the uterus, okay? If you don't have that problem, which most people don't, it's not going to fix anything. And I've had this conversation with someone, I'm like, they've had like 4 or 5 failed IUIs. And I mean, they're hundreds of dollars, each one of them. And I just stop doing them. They're not working. They're like, oh no, it's going to work this time. Well, why would it work this time if it hasn't worked 5 other times? I mean, it's clearly to me a different problem. Whether it's, it's clearly a problem with the sperm and the eggs, which can only be corrected through IVF with genetic testing. I just don't understand why people can't understand that. Anyway, so me personally, I would never choose to do, let's go over them again, take Clomid, number 1. Number 2, I would never choose to do IVF without genetic testing. I would always choose to do it with genetic testing. Number 3, I would never choose to do an IUI. These are just me personally. Talk to your doctor, make a personal informed decision, do your own research. Again, nobody's going to advocate for your health but you. No one's going to advocate for your financial, for your emotional health but you. Nobody cares more about having a child than you. So go for it, okay? Go forward as an informed patient. So thank you so much for tuning in to Gracefully Gorgeous today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And have a great day. Bye-bye.